Townsend.
And I'm Richard Townsend.
And you are tuned into the Married Marks podcast, where we talk about the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the greatest, and occasionally the worst of professional graps news from around the globe. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that you are with us right at this moment in time in history. But if it's not your first rodeo, you know what? You know how this goes. We love you extra hard. Whether it's your first time or your 142nd, do us a favor, like, subscribe, leave a comment on whatever site or app that you are tuned in on today. It would really do us a solid. It would help elevate our profile, and it would mean a whole lot to both of us. We are part of the Inside Joke Outside Voice podcast network. You can learn more about them at ijov.net. Visit our hashtag #PodEarnFamily. Shout out to Genius Pie for creation of the Married Marks podcast theme song. Much love to your brother. You can find him on Twitter at Genius Pie. And folks, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to join in, sound off on one of our thoughts or opinions, or hey, even ask a question for a future episode, hit us up. Our DMs are open. We are on Twitter at Married Marks. You can find us on pretty much all of the social media sites at Married Marks, or you can drop by www.marriedmarks.com. We're on YouTube. We are wherever. Ooh, that's a lot of words. We are wherever fine podcasts can be found. No, I'm too deep in the mud to do this over again, so deal with it. He's laughing at me. Or you can drop us an email, marriedmarkspod, that's POD, at gmail.com. Use your words, people. Hey, babe.
Use your words.
I have no words left today.
No, we've had a very interesting weekend.
It's been a very interesting weekend. It's super fun when random strangers show up in your yard and appear to be running from someone and then wind up hiding on the side of your house and trying to break in while you're home on a Saturday night because they're high on PCP, and it takes the cops 35 minutes to show up. It was just a thing. We're fine. Everything is okay. The gentleman is doing okay. He was taken to the hospital, and it was de-escalated and handled very professionally by Minneapolis police. I'm very grateful it ended peaceably. I don't want to talk about stupid stuff anymore. I want to talk about wrestling, because that's what we're here for, and I need to smile.
Oh.
Although I'm probably just going to sit here and drink my wine, because I'm sure you have things that are going to make me heated.
Well, we have two major topics to talk about since our last episode.
Well, because a lot happened on Friday when our episode dropped. And I thought about doing like a quick update type thing, like a breaking news episode, but we've been so busy all weekend because I had a thing on Friday night, and then we were doing Extra Life stuff with Heel Turn on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So what happened? Let's talk a little bit about what happened on Friday and beyond.
Well, we have a dual main event, so to speak, for our topics for this afternoon.
All right.
For this evening.
Start where you will, Townsend.
Well, let's start with some little things.
Okay.
Let's start with the little things first.
The little things.
Nick Jackson has said there is zero chance for an AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling partnership.
That is a bummer, but not also terribly surprising, if we're going to be completely honest. Would it be great? Sure, but I think logically, no one's really surprised by that news.
Yeah, so I'm not terribly surprised. I mean, although when we talk about one of our subjects later, I mean, New Japan may be in the market for a new partnership, so
maybe.
I mean, it's possible.
We'll get there.
But we will get there.
What else we got?
SmackDown had real good ratings.
Really?
This past week, yeah.
Wow. On the heels of a kind of not so great week last week.
I know that I believe they were somewhere up above 2 million.
Okay.
On the ratings,
so they had a pretty significant uptick from the week before.
It was something like 168% increase over the previous week's
wow numbers. So significant.
So, yes, which is good, especially considering it was literally thrown together at the last moment.
Wow. Yeah, especially given everything else that happened on Friday, which we're gonna talk about. Because what a crazy day that ended up being, full of kerfluffles and craziness.
Kenny Omega and Riho appeared at DDT Ultimate Party 2019.
Awesome!
Yes.
Here's my thing. I know a lot of people feel very strongly about Kenny being such a big part of Riho's journey here.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it doesn't bother me in the way that it seems to be bothering others. And I've seen people talk about it bothering them, but nobody's been able to define why it bothers them eloquently,
Mm-hmm.
other than man should not be involved, which I get. And I'm not gonna like poop on people if that's your opinion, if like that's totally your opinion, but I don't know. It's not bothering me as much. Maybe because I know he lived there for so long in Japan and he was such a huge part of the wrestling circuit there. And knowing that he worked with DDT and, I feel like he has a tremendous amount of respect for Japanese wrestling and for the culture there and for the
Yes.
way that the system operates. So knowing that, it doesn't bother me, but I guess I can see to some extent why American audiences might be like, okay, why is this dude just inserted in her story and with her at all times? And I get it. Maybe to them it just makes sense. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Like, does that bother you that he's inserted in her story and that he's constantly present?
Me? No.
I'm kind of torn because I guess I can't. Now that I think about it, I can see why it would bother some people, but no one has been eloquent enough to explain why they feel that way to me. Like, nobody wants to talk about it. They're just like, nah. And I know some people just don't like Kenny.
Well, no, I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, great, they're doing the man saves the woman storyline." Trying to make it into a damsel in distress storyline.
See, it's not reading that way to me at all. But
Me
that's
neither,
because
but
I
I'm
know.
a dude, so
Well, yeah, but I'm not.
you're not.
And I mean, they're pretty blatant about the fact that he's coaching her.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's not like he's trying to save her. It's like he's the coach who's coming out and concerned. He's not like inserting himself in anything. I mean, the one time he kind of got slapped around, it was by Nyla. And that's just because it's Nyla. If you get in her way, she's going to fuck you up. Which is, like, that's her narrative, which is dope. I don't know. Like, listeners, what do you think? Because I know some of you are really big fans of Japanese wrestling and Joshi, and you probably have really strong opinions on this. It does not bother me the way that it seems to bother a few people that I know, but chime in, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts.
So, just to follow up on the previous story, I did find the actual numbers.
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown had a average of 2.543 million viewers and was up 186% from the previous week.
Wow. So you just had the numbers backwards. 168. No, it was 186.
Yes, 186%.
That's even better.
6%.
Do you think a lot of people tuned in just because they were curious to see what the hell was going to happen?
I did.
I did not.
I tuned in for the first hour. I wanted to see what was going to happen. And then we had a show to go perform in on Friday night, so I didn't get to watch the second hour. Which is a shame, too, because all the cool stuff really seemed to have happened in the second hour.
Later in the show, yeah. That's what I read.
A couple more quick hits. Impact Wrestling is raising money for ODB.
I'm so excited about this.
Yes, so Impact is trying to help ODB get the food truck back up and running.
I do have to laugh because amongst a lot of our national wrestling fans and friends, I got sent messages about that by like 12 different people because we live where ODB is. Like we live locally to where her food truck was centralized. And everybody's like, yo, tell your girl. I don't know her. I wish I did. She's a dope human.
Yes. So Impact on November 7th and 8th, so this week, at the Melrose Ballroom in New York,
yes,
will be hosting the ODB Appreciation Night, where 100% of the ticket proceeds will go toward ODB's fundraising efforts for the new food truck.
Impact, good on you. Thank you for doing good and helping get that woman back in a truck and kicking ass, because she has not quit being positive throughout this entire thing. So I love to see good being done. I believe her GoFundMe is still up and running as well.
It is, and it's not doing great. It's at 15,000 of a goal of 50,000.
Yeah, so you know,
I feel bad because we've been asking all y'all to throw
we haven't
money
done anything
at things.
yet.
Well, we've been asking all y'all to throw money at things for the last week and a half.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna say it again. Come on, throw some money at this. This is a good cause.
It's a good cause. It's a very good cause. It's ODB. And she makes delicious meat.
Indeed. I think we can probably just move on to the main events, the co-main events. So, shall we start with WWE or shall we start with Ring of Honor?
Let's start with WWE because I feel like the Ring of Honor thing, I could use a little bit of information. And I'd like to unpack that one a little bit more.
So, as we all know, Thursday, Halloween, was also Crown Jewel.
Right.
And the Stars needed to rush back after Crown Jewel to get to the Buffalo, New York SmackDown event.
Yeah.
Well, not many of them made it back in time. As a matter of fact, extremely few made it back in time.
Yeah. This was kind of a developing story. I knew something was going on because when I woke up for work at about 5:30 in the morning, there were messages waiting that were sent at about 2:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the hell is going on? And then it continued to unfold, and wow, what a bloody mess.
The official word from WWE was that there were mechanical issues with the plane that was supposed to fly back the talent from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Correct.
There's a lot of people saying that's not true.
Yeah, and there's I have some information on this as well. I do have a couple of things pulled up. This is kind of a complicated issue to unpack. In the morning, we started getting reports, as did all of Twitter, that the talent were not going to be making it out of Saudi Arabia on time. They were pulled off of a plane, was what everybody heard. There were some people that got out. There were some people that got pulled off of a plane. Talent weren't sure why. Nobody had a real official reason. It just, it was a bad look given everything that's going on right now. It was uncomfortable, and immediately, my knee-jerk reaction was, okay, I'm just worried about the safety of the people. I hope they're okay. Because there was a lot of misinformation and a lot of lack of information coming around about this.
Yeah, when we woke up on Friday morning, we saw that only 20 total personnel had made it out of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And of which only 12 of them were actual wrestlers.
Right. And Vince got out.
Vince was out already.
That was the part that bothered me the most, was that he left, and then he left his talent there. And I'm going to elaborate on that in just a minute.
So Vince was out, and Brock Lesnar was out. As
Hogan was out.
Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan was on Brock Lesnar's plane.
Yeah, which from what I've read after was like a private charter or something like that.
So rumors started to fly on why this happened.
Mm-hmm.
The initial rumor was that it was mechanical, but Meltzer had said that he had spoken with some people and it was not mechanical. WWE made the publicly stated statement, I guess, that it was mechanical. But we got a lot of talent and folks really in close with the WWE who are disputing that. Former WWE Spanish commentator Hugo Savinovich, who currently works for AAA, posted a video discussing the situation, apparently.
Now, and I will say, if you want to read all of this, David Bixenspan posted this in screenshots of some of Hugo's tweets, basically also stating, quote unquote, he is legit and I trust his translation. It matches what other bilingual fans are tweeting about Oh, I'm sorry. No, he was quoting someone else who knew Hugo. I apologize. But this was basically being said on Lucha Libre Online's Facebook live stream about the situation.
So yeah, Hugo said that there was another reason why the talent were not allowed to leave the country.
Correct.
According to Hugo, WWE was owed millions of dollars for 2 of the shows that the company held in Saudi Arabia.
By the way, it's to the tune of $600 million.
He said the amount could be between 300 and 500 million.
Okay.
Which sounds insanely high. Supposedly, WWE is only earning $40 to $50 million per event in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
So Hugo is stating that Vince McMahon took it upon himself to retaliate against not being paid for previous events by cutting the live feed for Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. Crown Jewel ran on delay in the country.
Yeah.
Sounded like I've been hearing rumors somewhere around the lines of 45-minute delay. So in retaliation for that, the Crown Prince ordered that plane not to leave the airport.
Right.
And basically creating a hostage situation almost.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no violence.
No, and the talent was safe is the big thing that everybody has wanted to everybody tweeting that works for either Dirt Sheets or was close to the situation did emphasize that the talent were safe. There was not like any kind of physical ramification involved. They were not like being threatened in any way, but it's still a scary ass situation. And these people had boarded a plane and then were specifically asked to deboard, but no one else was. And that's a terrifying thing.
Yeah. So Vince hightailed it out with his inner circle of people. And then Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, and Hulk Hogan left on Lesnar's private jet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and McMahon left on the WWE private jet.
Unbelievable.
So now we have a situation where we have stars who are very angry about being left there by their captain, basically, Vince McMahon. Some of them didn't leave for another 14, 18 hours. Some of them just started getting home this morning.
I mean, can you imagine putting what I'm reading was over 100 of your employees at the end of the day at risk because you didn't get paid? Can you imagine that?
No. No, I can't.
Like, that's the part I'm trying to wrap my brain around. I have had more people angry tweet at me defending Vince McMahon for this. There is no defense in my book. I'm sorry. The way that I look at that, he legitimately put tons of people at very real risk over money. Like, if that doesn't prove to you that the only language Vincent Kennedy McMahon speaks is money, nothing does. And you probably just shouldn't listen to this podcast because that is going to be the narrative that I fucking stick to until such time as it changes. This is atrocious.
Okay, well, now here's WWE's official statement. More than 175 superstars, production crew, and employees boarded a 747 charter flight back to the United States on Thursday. After the door closed, due to several aircraft problems, including mechanical issues, all passengers sat on the tarmac for more than 6 hours.
But that's not what was being reported.
With SmackDown emanating live from Buffalo, New York, several superstars felt so strongly that they arranged for their own separate charter in order to make it back to the United States for the show.
Whoa, hold up.
Due to unforeseen issues, that charter did not land until after the live broadcast on Fox. The remainder of WWE's superstars, staff, and crew departed on a charter set to depart Saudi Arabia on Friday.
Did they literally just like paint it out like some of their people were more dedicated to work than others?
Yes. That's exactly what that statement says.
You know, they need to thank their lucky fucking stars for NXT, because if it wasn't for NXT, I legitimately just would not watch anything that they put out at this point. This is just disgusting. How can you defend this? How can anybody defend this?
Let's start with the talent who have decided to take their shots. Because now they're referring to those 20 who chartered their own flight home as being the top 20.
I would love to, like, guess who those people are.
Curtis Axel wrote on Twitter, "Not the hashtag top 20, middle finger emoji. I'm number one at home. We don't leave each other behind at WWE."
Wow.
Luke Harper on his Instagram, "Larry, I'm home. I guess I didn't want it enough to pay for my own charter, but I'm home now. Hashtag not top 20.
Damn.
Tyson Kidd, "Next time we'll pool our money together instead of being lazy." Eric Young, "I'll pitch in, guys. Next time I'll have more pride in myself and take it upon myself to be better. What a world. What an effing universe."
You know what's funny is this is also reading like a list of people that the company has kind of shit on repeatedly anyway, who are incredibly hard workers.
Scott Dawson just put hashtag poor.
Oof.
AEW World Champion Chris Jericho even chimed in.
Oh, wait, you didn't say that right. Le Champion.
Le Champion. "Shame on you lazy embarrassments to the company. Glad everyone made it home safely."
Damn. I'm very glad that some of the talent are using their voice here. I really am, because like I would legitimately be like, I'm requesting release from my contract, because here's the thing, there is no amount of money in the world that is worth that shit to me.
Oh,
none.
I'm not done yet.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not done. Carl Anderson.
Oh god.
"Looking forward to seeing who the locker room leader is on Monday."
Ooh, damn.
Wait.
Wait. Pardon me while I grab my tea, because this is some good tea.
Yeah, there was
Oh, that tea is delicious.
I'm trying to Buddy Murphy just tweeted, "Never again."
Good. I really, really hope that they stick to their guns and don't cave. Don't go back if you don't feel safe. Like, I'm sorry, there's no job in the world that would be worth that shit to me. None. I don't care how much I'm making. I don't care if it means I would be financially secure for the next, like, 20 years of my life. Legitimately. You could not pay me enough. Just atrocious.
I mean...
And shame on Vince. Shame on Vince McMahon.
I understand that Vince feels that he needs to be at every show as often as possible to make sure that things go the way he wants them to.
I don't care.
But in a situation that, if the rumors are true, you caused...
Mm-hmm. I don't care what he wants.
Against a person who is willing to murder a journalist.
Yep.
And behead them.
Yep.
It has been decided by our own country's Central Intelligence Agency
that is exactly what happened to Khashoggi.
That the Crown Prince ordered his murder and dismemberment.
Here's my thing.
And you are dealing with this man.
Yeah.
And then you have the balls to cut off the live broadcast? You endangered your employees.
Yep.
And then you hightail it out to be one of the first out of the country, leaving them to almost fend for themselves. I don't.
There is absolutely nothing I have to say on this. I have said so much for so long to so many people that like, this sounds terrible. Nothing fucking surprises me. Every time these talent go to Saudi Arabia, I legitimately worry for their safety. I am exceedingly proud of the people that, are making waves and changing things and working towards change. I really, really am. But I've said on this podcast previously that I don't like specific types of gimmick matches because I don't want it to feel like I'm watching the goddamn Hunger Games, right? I like a certain amount of suspension of disbelief in my professional wrestling. Like, wrestling has a lot in common with, like, soap operas. I like to feel like I'm being taken out of certain things. And yeah, that's hard having this particular hobby as a podcaster. It's hard. It's hard because sometimes I feel like you and I, Rich, both have to analyze things. And sometimes, we have friends that work in wrestling who give us shit for it. They're like, why don't you just enjoy the fucking wrestling? And you know what? I always do enjoy the wrestling, no matter what, but not if I am painfully aware of a situation that I think is incredibly ethically wrong.
Yeah.
And, like, that could be said for if there's verbiage going on in a match where one of the wrestlers is shouting homophobic bullshit. That could be said if I'm a big proponent of, like, I don't like, fat shaming when wrestlers shame people for the way that they look, that kind of thing. I think it's stupid. But people continue to ask me why we don't support the WWE with our dollar. And if you're newer to the podcast, like, we don't usually get this serious, but this is like the 5th time we've had this conversation because it just keeps getting fucking worse. It keeps getting worse. Now I'm mad. Every fucking time I think that the WWE is going to give me some fucking shred that I can cling to enjoy them, to want to support them as a company, they fucking pull something like this, and it pisses me off. It makes me mad. It makes me mad for the fucking people that work for the company. It makes me mad for the fucking talent. It makes me mad for the fucking fans. It makes me mad for everybody's fucking families. I am not exaggerating when I say if it was not for NXT, I would literally be like, there's a million fucking podcasts out there that follow the WWE. We ain't gonna be one of them. Because I'm fucking done with that fucking company. It pisses me off. God damn it. I'm so sorry. I am just like, fuck Vince McMahon. Fuck him.
Well, see, and
oh, God. Sorry. Ooh, I'm so mad I hit my mic.
So, I mean, we've talked about it in the past how, we tried to find some way of looking at the other side of this.
Always. We always tried, like, we have tried so hard to stay positive on this.
That Vince was trying to bring money into the company. And this was a huge payday for Vince and for the WWE to make this partnership with Saudi Arabia.
We've also been very blatant about the fact that, like, yes, we don't run a multi-million-dollar corporation, and there's certain business decisions that, like, it's easy for us to criticize. But we totally understand that, like, the man's trying to run literally a multi-million-dollar fucking organization. And that you can take that aside from any political ramifications that are involved.
I mean, so the first show we watched.
Yeah, we watched the first Crown Jewel.
We watched the first show. No, that was the
it was
Greatest Royal
Yeah, that's right. Or because what did we call it? Like the Greatest Royal House Show?
Yes. We watched that show. And that show was a propaganda hit piece for the Saudi Arabian government.
Yeah. How progressive the prince is and all this other stuff. And which did not resonate well.
We overlooked a lot of the bullshit.
We really did.
That first show.
We really did. I feel like we are far more critical now than we were ages ago about a lot of things.
I mean, we were critical about the fact that no women were allowed on the match.
Yeah.
Or on the card. But we let it go. Then came...
And I've even, like, as somebody who has studied tons of Middle Eastern dance in various facets, I've spoken on this podcast about understanding cultures and trying to, like, how I try to see things through different lenses, even from a cultural perspective, because, like, Saudi dance and, like, the history of Saudi dance is a big history in certain parts of the dance styles that I've studied as a transnational fusionist, right? So, like, there's even things that I've spoken on in the past on this podcast from a cultural perspective that Americans criticize, mostly pertaining to women. Like, we spoke at length about head coverings from different areas and regions and what they mean. And, like, literally, I have been able to, like, rose-colored glass a lot of shit.
And then we got Evolution.
And Evolution was fantastic.
Evolution was amazing.
Yeah.
And after the announcement of Evolution, they announced about the second Saudi show, which was going to happen week after Evolution.
Yeah, and we had started making... You and I, it was right before Evolution, we started having the conversation of, like, we're really not super comfortable supporting the WWE with our dollar. We're gonna ride it out and go to the last couple of things that we've already paid for and go to them. And, like, we felt Evolution was a very important show, and I stand by that. Like, the program, I'm looking at it right now over our desk with our 2 fucking collector tickets. Like, it's framed and it's in our podcast studio because...
We're sitting on the chair.
I'm with you. Can I make a really gross comment? Because, like, my nether regions are right on Ronda Rousey's face right now. Gross. But, like, it was about that time that you and I started having those conversations about, like, I think I had come to you one day and I'm like, I don't know about you, but I feel ethically troubled supporting the WWE at this point.
And then the Jamal Khashoggi stuff.
And that was the nail in our proverbial coffin.
I mean, we canceled our network last year, October.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Network free for a year now.
Yeah, God, isn't that crazy?
Because we canceled our network before we went to Evolution.
And if you're curious, anybody who, you know, is gonna try and give us grief about something, the only reason we currently watch NXT right now is because we choose to spend our Wednesday nights at a local bar that is...
I'm done justifying. I'm not
justifying it.
Trying to catch us in something.
No, I'm not, and I'm not justifying it. I'm making a point. My point is, I would rather go to a fucking bar and support a rad human being who's also, like, a person of color who owns his own fucking business in this city.
Yes.
And, like, that's why we go.
Yes.
We could easily sit at home and just watch AEW.
Yeah,
like, that's fine.
we could.
But, you know, I like NXT as a product. I'm not going to apologize for that. I like what NXT does. I feel like it's the one part of the WWE that's great. But I don't want to give the company my fucking money. So on Wednesday nights, I give my money to somebody who's running a business and trying to just celebrate the good shit.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. And also, it's great because, like, we can legitimately be a little more objective about both shows when we're watching them at the same time.
Simultaneously, 2 TVs right in front of us, one on each show.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Khashoggi thing was like, that was it for us. We were like, nope, we're done. We're done. That's it.
I mean, just to put it, you know, in a numerical value that probably they don't give a shit about because it's chump change. But they have lost over $120 in network money from us over the last year. We have not bought the last 2 2K games, so that's another $120 they didn't get from us.
God damn, I thought about it with this one just for the sake of watching how freaking terrible it was.
And we probably spend close to $300 to $500 a year on merchandise from WWE Shop.
Used to.
Yeah, we haven't. We haven't bought anything.
I mean, shit.
Since Evolution.
I remember specifically the last show we went to here, not NXT, Because NXT, the last WWE event that we went to in person was NXT in Minneapolis.
In St. Paul.
In St. Paul, yeah, it was at the River Center. That was literally it, and the only thing that I bought was a Shayna Baszler shirt because I wanted to support Baszler, and that was it. And we bought some beer. We bought a lot of beer.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the last time I gave the WWE a penny.
Any money from us in over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And now
somebody asked me like why we haven't been doing the like watch WWE movie thing and do all that and like that we were planning on doing. You don't stick your tongue in a 9-volt battery repeatedly, even though you know it's not gonna fucking hurt you, because it's just not gonna be comfortable. Like watching WWE shit right now to me, other than like NXT, it is like I would literally rather just like eat my own toenails.
Ew. It's
just I'm not into it right now. I had to think about that for a few days. Like, wow, yeah, why have I been so avoidant on it? It's been a while since we've gone off like this on this topic.
So anyway, getting back to us trying to look on the other side of things, we tried to sympathize with Vince on this, saying he got into something, it got out of control, and he has no way out of it. Because he signed a 10-year deal. He signed a deal for 20 shows in Saudi Arabia. We are through 4 of them.
I can't, there's no defending this anymore.
And now he's not getting money that he sold out for, and he took a shot and endangered his employees. He still has no way out of this.
There is so much good wrestling out there that, like, you do not need the WWE. You just don't.
I've gone beyond being angry at the WWE.
I haven't.
No, I have gone beyond anger to worry.
Oh, I'm super worried.
What happens in April when they go back to Saudi Arabia for show number 5?
I don't know, but I don't have a good feeling about it.
Who's gonna go? Vince is going to have a coup on his hands with his talent, because there are a lot of talent that are refusing to go again.
Yeah.
There are talent that can't go, and yes, it's great that there was a women's match in Saudi Arabia.
I don't want to sound like I'm detracting from that. I am so happy that happened. Like, that's great. But I don't think that was worth everything else that's happened. Yeah, it's just not worth it. I can't imagine Natty wanting to go back after all that. I don't know. I'm not them. So I don't know.
But there were interesting things that happened due to this. NXT saved Vince's ass.
Oh yeah.
By those NXT stars going to SmackDown, having a great match between Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole. Having Shayna Baszler show up and absolutely decimate Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I did watch footage of that. It was fucking delightful.
The NXT takeover of SmackDown saved that show.
I just want to say, too, for those of you out there that listen to us, because I know we have an interesting listener base comprised of fans and creatives and people that are out there doing what we're doing right now, you know, putting out material. Please know that even if you feel like you can't talk about this publicly and you can't, you know, come down on people for that shit, or you don't want to for various reasons, please know we know you're there and we understand, and like we're never going to fault people for doing what they feel they need to do. Like, I don't expect people to be as outraged about it as we are or as some fans are, but know that you're heard and know that your feelings are legitimate, and you know, we get it. You got to do you. You got to cover what you want to cover. You got to talk about what you want to talk about, and that doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're a journalist, if you're a fan, if you're a blogger, if you're what the fuck ever, like, I get it. You do you. I'm not going to criticize you. Just know that, like, your feelings, whatever you're feeling.
Yeah, we
hear
know
you.
So many of them.
Yeah, that's why I'm
are
saying
just,
this.
Like, they're finding it so hard
to stay positive,
to justify continuing doing it.
Yeah.
Every one of these Saudi Arabia shows that goes by, you know, there are some very prominent podcasters and wrestling journalists, wrestling reporters.
Beyond even people that like we know who like well beyond that, just people in general who are like, God damn it, I have to talk about this today.
And they're just finding it harder and harder to support this company.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, if you're a fan that's like really struggling with this, know that we understand and your feelings are super valid, and don't feel bad about doing what you need to do and talk about what you need to talk about. Seriously, I don't know. Like it sucks. This whole situation just sucks. It just sucks. There's no way for me I can't be positive about this. I'm gonna be brutally honest about it. And like, yes, I know this opinion polarizes the fuck out of people. That's fine. Let it polarize. I'm not gonna judge you for watching the WWE. I'm not.
No, we have never criticized anybody for supporting the WWE.
I've criticized people for supporting Vince McMahon in this.
Yeah, wow.
Because, grant me the confidence of a mediocre white man falling onto my Twitter to tell me I don't understand anything. But that's another story for another day.
Oh, well, let's put just one more little thing in here on the WWE issue.
Oh, sure.
Jordan Miles has tweeted again.
Oh, gosh.
If WWE doesn't reach out to me by tomorrow, I'll make sure my voice and my movement will be heard.
Wow. Okay.
So...
good for him.
Possibly more to talk about tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a busy podcast week for us.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of... wrestling companies who make stupid and damaging choices, I think we have a little Ring of Honor news. Fuck it. I'm a glass of Merlot in at this point, and I'm feeling savage. Mama wants to talk about this shit. And then we're like, that's gonna be it. Because we're creeping in on that like 40-minute-ish mark. And I want to keep it. I want to have a little Xavier Woods, and I want to keep it tight.
So, 3 days ago, Joey Mercury quit Ring of Honor. Joey Mercury proceeded to absolutely make Ring of Honor go up in flames.
I mean, it would actually... fuck it. I can't not be a savage bitch at this point for the rest of this episode. So you know what? If you're ready for like savage wino Shannon, you got her at this point. Savage doesn't even begin to fucking cover it. Go ahead. Let's talk a little bit more about this. So, like, what are some of the things that he was saying? Because, oh boy, this was crazy.
Joey Mercury took to Twitter to talk about all of Ring of Honor's transgressions that he knew of. And there is a lot of them.
This was a lengthy list.
The primary target of his Twitter destruction tour was Ring of Honor's general manager, Greg Gilliland.
He better make t-shirts for that.
Gilliland? I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't know. We'll just call him Greg. GM Greg.
GM Greg. There you go.
Let's start with, and I'm trying to find the best recap of everything on here. Let's start with some of the things that Joey let out. That Bandito, PJ Black, and Shane Taylor will be free agents very soon.
Okay.
Yeah, he basically was the one to tell Shane Taylor that Ring of Honor's not renewing your contract. You're out of a job at Christmas. They weren't going to tell Shane Taylor that they were not renewing his contract.
I mean, wrestling company, I am not doing this. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just saying they make decisions like that all the time without telling people. Like, they don't give a shit what time of year it is.
You give somebody a chance to try and find work.
theoretically, normally you would, but I think a lot of major companies, that's not how it operates.
Joey Mercury let out. Remember the Bully Ray incident where?
We were just talking about that a couple weeks ago again. Yeah,
where
the fan incident.
Fan incident. Yeah, there's a reason why Bully Ray did that. Ring of Honor did not have any security at that show. They did not pay for any security.
Well, that's comforting.
So that's why the talent had to do that. Because
that doesn't...
Ring of Honor had no security. So the talent had to be security.
It should not be a talent's job to police themselves. But second, that whole situation was still kind of a fucking shit show. And I don't know that Bully handled it appropriately, but we've had that conversation. That's a whole other thing.
Let's see. Lack of security at events. It's implied the situation in California between Bully Ray, Velvet Sky, and the fan developed the way it did because there was no Ring of Honor provide security at the show. Lack of medical staff at shows. Mercury discusses the recent issues where Jay Lethal broke his arm in England, saying that GM Greg, wasn't present and there was no priority placed on getting Lethal taken care of, noting that Marty Scurll had to order an Uber to get talent to their hotel.
Wow.
In another incident, Mercury, Brody King, and Bandito reset Flip Gordon's dislocated elbow in lieu of trained medical professionals, because there were none. He also says Alex Shelley, who was contracted as a performer only, but who is he's actually a certified trainer, helped wrestlers with physical issues. No medical staff, so talent were helping the wrestlers.
Now I'm gonna pause you for a hot second, because I know a couple of you are probably wrestlers that are listening to this, and you're going, but that's the kind of carny shit that happens all the time. Why is that a big deal? Because it's Ring of fucking Honor!
Supposedly, one of the top 3 companies?
Yeah, unacceptable. Continue.
They have no concussion protocol.
Oh, well, I could have told you that.
Which may have led to the company allowing Kelly Klein to work in South Africa while she was suffering from a brain injury from a concussion.
Oh, hell no.
Not telling Shane Taylor he might be soon unemployed and undervaluing Bandito. Let's continue with this, though, because let's talk about Kelly Klein. Kelly Klein, the contract Kelly Klein received for Ring of Honor, she wanted it to be $24,000 a year. $2,000 a month.
That's horrifying to me. Like, that's not even a living wage in most cities.
No, that's not. Especially considering that they travel.
Yeah.
On their own dime.
Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous.
Hotel rooms on their own dime. Feed themselves.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's not a livable wage.
No medical staff, so they're treating themselves.
Nope.
And her request at $24,000 was declined by Ring of Honor with the statement that if they paid her that, they would have to pay all the women that.
Oh, what a shame. You'd actually have to pay your women.
Well, no. So here's the thing that a lot of people...
Unfucking believable.
Well, no. Here's the part that's really a kick in the dick. So the women all have to have exact same contracts, but not the men. Because the men are all paid on a different scale. But the women all get less than $24,000 a year.
All right, I need somebody out there who's a wrestler, who has worked with various companies. I need you to contact me. I will not use your name if you don't want me to. I won't say anything about who you are, what you told me. I won't say jack shit. You can use like a burner email account if you fucking want to. I don't give a shit. Email us. Tell us how normal this shit is. I want to know.
Would you expect if you worked for a major company to have medical staff on site, to have security to protect the talent on site at the shows? I mean, we're talking Ring of Honor here. I understand indie promotions don't have the finances for all of that,
Totally. Like, that I understand. But you're talking about a major company that hosts regular pay-per-views, hosts giant events, like, makes a big deal out of it, and has been touted as one of the, like, quote-unquote big competitors in America. That's not acceptable to me. It's not. I would like to know also, like, this is what the contract structure is what I'm really fucking interested in. I would love to know more. I really would.
I don't
because like I'm super frustrated with it, but at the same time, like I want to know how common that is. Because the sad thing is, it's probably more common than we want it to be.
Yeah. I don't get it. This is Ring of fucking Honor.
I'm gonna go upstairs and watch like some Jordan Grace matches to make myself feel better about life.
So Ring of Honor has actually decided to make some sort of a comment, I would guess we could call it.
I'm assuming it's a non-starter because most of their commentary on major issues are kind of non-starters in my experience.
Ring of Honor posted a photo of their talent and wrote, "We are Ring of Honor, we are family."
Okay, number one, stop trying to pull the "We Are NXT" bullshit.
Let's start with the fact that Kelly Klein isn't in the picture.
People want to know why we haven't bothered to go to a fucking Ring of Honor show in eons either. It's because of this kind of bullshit. Because it does happen all the time, and some of it is very public and very known. And we were just like, "Yep, we're done."
Mm-hmm.
And here's my big thing. There are promotions out there that don't pull this shit. I like to support those promotions. Do you know why? Because they don't pull this shit. It's not real complicated to me. You wake up and you're like, hey, I would very much like to go see some very good wrestle people today. I think that would be a great way to spend my evening, watching some people suplex some other people around the fucking mat. That's dope. Let's go. Let's go do the thing, right? I very much enjoy seeing that. I very much enjoy seeing that with promotions that like to push LGBTQ plus talent and give women actual opportunities. And, think about the way that their audiences want to fucking perceive the shows.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly capable of doing that. Not at Ring of Honor. Oh my God. I need some good news before we get off this podcast, because I feel like I have just been like a wine-induced salty a-hole for the last 40 minutes.
Okay, well then let's go to the shout-outs then. And let's just end this show.
Shout-outs are good stuff. Because, the moral, TLDR, if you fast-forwarded, here's the moral. Vince McMahon's an asshole. Ring of Honor is a shit show.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It's just so carny. All this shit is so carny. Am I wrong? We were talking about this yesterday, and I got out of the car, and I scared some soccer mom at the CVS parking lot because, all she heard was me get out of the car and be like, this is some carny bullshit. And she was just probably going in there for her, discount Reese's Pieces after Halloween. She just wanted her discount peanut butter.
Here is the shout-out. I want to shout out Karen. Our dear friend Karen.
You're not saying
Karen
that right.
Out.
No, you're not saying that right.
Karen!
Karen! No!
So, WWE posted the latest, the Canvas to Canvas with Rob Schoenberger.
Oh, okay.
The guy who does the canvas paintings of wrestlers.
Yeah. He does great work.
Karen was the narrator of that video.
Aw, Karen!
Karen is a pretty good friend with Rob Schoenberger.
Mm.
And Rob Schoenberger went to her because he did one about the Kabuki Warriors.
Aww.
And needed help with translations and understanding what Kabuki is.
Mm. Yeah, and Karen has very eloquently broken that down about why the name is not, frustrating for them and why it was their choice and what the meanings are behind it. She is incredibly well educated in this topic, so
congratulations to you, Karen. That's huge.
Karen, you're like the only thing in this particular podcast that I'm not being a salty cunt about. That's how you know I love you as a friend, is if you can calm me down off my cunty bullshit.
Yes.
Then you're good.
Yes. So,
Rich, can you calm me off my cunty bullshit?
Probably not.
You do a pretty good job.
I try.
But you know that, like, if you go out and you come home with, like, a bag of Haribo gummy bears and, like, a bottle of Coppola Merlot, I'm gonna come off my cunty bullshit.
Yeah, probably. But I also just let you have your feelings. And let you have your opinions. And let you be angry when you need to be angry.
That's because you're not one of the shitty dudes.
And I try not to tell you how to feel.
Wait, that's a thing that men can do?
Yeah. It's
called... not tell me how to feel about my feelings? What?
Well...
What?
I was taught by a very, very important person in our lives, one Darren Corbin, to just shut the fuck up for a minute.
Oh, well, no, okay. That makes total sense. Yeah.
So, I took that to heart. And I learned how to shut the fuck up for a minute.
I had this vision that, like, at one of the fucking Valentine shows, you were sitting there and he comes out and he's like, if everybody could just shut the fuck up for 1 minute. And, like, you just sit there and go, oh. It's just one oh in a chorus of boos. Oh. So that was, like, your...
Yeah, that was
your
my epiphany.
Your Doctor Strange epiphany knocked out of your own body moment.
Yeah, that was the, oh, wait, if I just shut up and let people, talk about the things they have feelings about and not give my own interjected opinions, life is better.
I mean, there's times when that does not work.
Well, yeah, no. But I digress.
But we digress. Everybody needs to just take a cue from Darren fucking Corbin.
And shut the fuck up.
And shut the fuck up for 1 minute. Yeah.
We have Full Gear coming up on Saturday.
We do, and we will be covering Full Gear from start to finish. AEW's kind of, not necessarily like inaugural pay-per-view, but it is kind of their inaugural pay-per-view.
Yeah, it really kind of is. I mean, well, it's their first pay-per-view since the TV show started.
Yeah. So 1 week from today, that episode will be covered.
Not today. It's on Saturday.
Yes.
Today's
Our next
Sunday.
Podcast, when we can talk about it, will be 1 week from the day that people are fucking... Listen,
I should have shut the fuck up for a minute.
Take your own fucking advice and shut the fuck up for 1 minute. God damn it, Townsend. Oh, fuck. No, 1 week from today, when you're listening, we will be covering Full Gear and giving a full pay-per-view rundown, talking about what we liked, what we didn't like. We're going to talk a little bit about, did they give those women equal opportunities? I'm just saying, AEW has not been impressing me in that front, so I'm kind of going into this one a little on the salty side.
Yeah.
But not too bad. I am still very much looking forward to the pay-per-view, so we will see what happens.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah. I need more wine, and I need to edit this because Watchmen comes on in about 30 minutes,
yes.
and the show makes me viscerally uncomfortable,
which is a good thing.
Which is in very interesting ways, and I would like very much to see where it's going. So we're gonna stop this so that I can go get more wine and watch a really fucked up series.
Yeah. So for the Married Marks, I'm Richard Townsend.
I'm a cunty bitch,
and we will talk to you on Friday.
Good choices.